Welcome back to the Career Pivot Playbook, Navigating Career Change with Confidence. I'm Shruti, founder of Delegate Workflows, and today we are diving into getting in, breaking into your new field. With us again is Smita D. Jain, an accomplished executive and personal empowerment life coach who successfully transitioned from a corporate professional to an entrepreneur. Welcome back, Smita.
Thank you, Shruti. It's great to be here once again with you. And breaking into a new field can be challenging, but with the right strategies, it's definitely achievable.
Absolutely. Let's start with strategies for gaining relevant experience and credentials. What should our viewers consider?
First and foremost, education and training. I cannot stress on the significance of upskilling more than enough. Enroll in relevant courses, certifications, or degree programs that are valued in your new field. The advantage in today's era is there are so many online platforms available apart from the regular classroom coachings from the specific organizations in the field that you are considering. You also have Coursera, you have Udemy. LinkedIn Learning is such a valuable resource. So do educate yourself in your new field. Second, internships and volunteering. These are excellent ways to gain hands on experience. Look for opportunities that allow you to apply and hone your new skills. Third, freelancing and part time work. And I would also add pro bono work to it. All of these are the steps I took when I was mulling various career options after my pivot, and also when I decided on coaching. So, taking on freelance projects, part time or pro bono work in your new field can help you build a portfolio and gain practical experience. So, you may recall the story I was sharing with you the last time. So, when I pivoted to coaching, my initial three clients, I coached them pro bono in exchange for a testimonial. But the advantage was from day one, when I had my website, I had social proofs, which was invaluable for me. Then you can also take on personal projects. So even if you're not working for someone else, you can create your own portfolio. This I did with my writing. So I'm not a freelancer, I am an author, as you know. When I started on this field, I wrote stories and put them on online platforms where you can just upload your stories, get feedback from readers who are reading it. That helped me to demonstrate my writing portfolio. So, working on personal projects related to your new field can demonstrate your skills and commitment. So, if you're moving into a graphic design, for example, start creating a portfolio of your work. I also gave example from my own writing journey.
Those are such practical tips, Smita. Speaking of educating yourself, I have also explored many courses in Udemy when I started my journey. Actually, the courses in Udemy are like it's not very expensive at all. So I have did like some 10 to 15 courses before I started as a solopreneur, and it has given me ample amount of confidence. So,
That is
Smita,
so good to know, Shruti, and I'm very happy to hear you say that. And I agree with you. Udemy courses are more affordable than most of the other courses I have seen.
thank you, Smita. So, how did you gain experience and credentials when you transitioned to coaching and entrepreneurship?
So when I transitioned to coaching, I took courses in coaching to build my knowledge base. And being from an IM background and all, I was very particular of taking coaching courses, coach training from the best of institutes. So I chose an institute in US which was affiliated to the International Coaching Federation, which is the apex body in coach training. As I have also mentioned earlier, I offered free coaching sessions to my three colleagues to gain practical experience and feedback in lieu for a testimonial. This helped me to build my confidence and also refine my coaching techniques.
That's a great approach. For me, when I started my VA agency, I took several courses, as I have told you, on basically mostly on virtual assistance, business management, and social media management. I also did some internships, which helped me gain real time experience. This will help you a lot. I even volunteered my services initially for free to build only my client base and gather some testimonials.
That I must say, Shruti, is such a smart strategy. But then I've always found you to be a smart woman, and that's why we work well together. Won't you say that?
Thank you, Smita. Yes, and Smita, networking is so crucial when you're entering into a new industry. What advice would you give on this aspect?
Okay, networking is crucial, Shruti, but it may not be for everyone. Or let's say you have to do networking, but the extent will vary for everyone because for introverts, and being an introvert myself, I would say that sometimes it can be quite draining. So don't go all out. But having said that, you cannot not afford to be in touch with other professionals in your field. For me, the institute from where I had my coach training, there is a group that is formed, and it was such a big help, especially in those initial days when you know that you can reach out to someone else who is going through the same journey as you. It's very helpful to form peer groups and all. Okay, so to your question of how can our viewers go into this, attend industry events, participate in conferences, webinars, and workshops to meet professionals in your new field. Networking at these events can lead to valuable connections. Second, join professional associations. Become a member of industry specific associations or groups. These organizations often offer networking events and resources. Third, online networking. You don't even have to go from the confines of your bedroom to start networking with other professionals around the globe. So use LinkedIn to connect with industry professionals, join relevant groups, and engage in discussions to increase your visibility. As a personal example, so I am based out of India, but I have coach friends across quite a few, I don't think I can even count them on my fingertips, English speaking countries around the globe. And these often lead to valuable exchanges of information, of opportunities. In fact, it is during one such online networking outreach that I came in touch with Jim, which helped me to become a co-author of the international bestseller, Cracking the Rich Code Volume 12, which was like a dream for me, a small town girl from India, an international best-selling author, with a foreword from Tony Robbins. Dream. In fact, now when I think of it, it's not even something that I dreamt of. So that is the power of networking. And last but not the least, you can also do informational interviews. So reach out to individuals in your desired field, pick their brains after taking their permission to understand what that field entails, how does their typical day looks like, what are their insights for success in the industry. This can help you come across valuable potential opportunities.
Those are really valuable tips, Smita. Networking was crucial for my pivot as well. Actually, LinkedIn has played a vital part in my networking journey. It has helped me understand the industry better and connect with my potential clients. Smita, can you share a client success story from networking?
Certainly. So, one of my clients was transitioning from finance to digital marketing, and she attended this marketing conference where she connected with a senior marketing manager from a reputed established company, an MNC. Now, this connection led to an internship, and that internship eventually, 2 3 months down the line after the internship, she got a full time job offer. So, networking can open doors you might not even know existed. And this happened in my case also, as I was sharing with you during the previous answer. It opened doors for me to become an internationally best selling co author. And I didn't even have to move out of my home for that to be done. That's the power of networking today.
That's an inspiring story. Now, let's talk about crafting a compelling narrative for your career change. How can one do that effectively?
That's an important question, Shruti. So, I would say first, start with identifying your why. Clearly articulate why you want to make this career change. See, why you want to change from your existing role or why you changed from your previous role, that's a separate question. But why you want to make a change to this new field, that's a separate question and an important question. What drives you? What are you passionate about? It's very important to identify that. Second, highlight transferable skills from your past experience. Emphasize the skills and experiences from your previous roles that are relevant to your new field. Third, you can showcase your journey. So, share the steps you have taken to prepare for this transition, such as courses, certification, any relevant experiences, any testimonial that you can gather. This is what I did. So, now after coaching for 3.5 years, I have a lot of testimonials on my website now. But when I started 3.5 years ago, I didn't had that benefit. I didn't had a social proof. So these courses, certification, pro bono coaching, in lieu of testimonials, that helped me to build my social credibility when I was starting out. Last but not the least, focus on creating a personal brand. Develop a personal brand that reflects your new identity, your new career identity. Use your story to make an emotional connection with your audience.
That's some great advice, Smita. Speaking of knowing your why, I have the same opinion as well. Because knowing your why not only helps to create a compelling narrative, but also motivates you whenever you are demotivated. Only when you know your why, you can grow forward. Otherwise, you will stop somewhere. That's what I feel.
Absolutely, and I agree with you. So, but great minds think alike.
Smita, how did you craft your narrative when you transitioned?
I focused on my passion for helping others grow professionally and my desire to create a positive impact, even if it's one person at a time, through coaching. I highlighted my experience in leading teams and getting the best out of people from my corporate job and shared my journey of acquiring new skills and building my coaching practice. So, this narrative resonated well with my audience because when I started, I focused on clients only from the corporate world. Most of my clients now also are from the corporate world, but I have diversified over a period of time. But when I started, I focused on the world which I knew well. So at that time, when I was talking to my prospective clients, I may not have had as much experience, but in their eyes, I was one of them. I knew their environment. I understood their challenges. I empathized with their insecurities. And this narrative resonated well with my audience, and my clients grew. And that is what helped me to establish my credibility.
That's very insightful, Smita.
Thank you, Shruti. And I must say, I also keep on reading your stories and views about entrepreneurship on LinkedIn, Shruti. In fact, if I am not mistaken, you are a LinkedIn top voice badge on entrepreneurship, aren't you?
Yes, Smita.
So it's time for me to learn for you. So learn from you. So, what steps did you take to craft your own narrative when you started your entrepreneurship journey?
First of all, thank you for following my journey, Smita. When I started my entrepreneurship path, I crafted my narrative by first identifying my why, as you have already shared this. So, my why, the need for flexibility to balance my work and family. This was my why. So, I highlighted the values that mattered to me the most, like building trust and continuous learning. I shared both my struggles and success to create an authentic, relatable stories on LinkedIn. Consistency in my posting on LinkedIn, coupled with evolving my narrative, and also helped my business grow from virtual assistants to providing many more services.
That's very useful to know, Shruti. And I must add here that I really find some of your stories very, very inspiring whenever I come across them on LinkedIn. So continue writing such stories and continue sharing your journeys, and may you prosper further and grow further.
Thank you so much, Smita. Those are mostly instantaneous stories, like whatever I feel, I write and post.
And that's what works best. Being a
Yes,
writer,
yes.
also, I can say that with confidence.
Yes. And Smita, finally, let's discuss strategies for updating your resume and LinkedIn profile to reflect the pivot. What are key points to keep in mind?
So, first, tailor your resume. Your resume, which till date would have been built on your previous experience, has to be customized for the new field that you are entering. And your past experience is not irrelevant. It was not that when I became a coach, all my 14 years of corporate world become redundant. No, highlight relevant skills from your past experience, craft a story which relates your past experience to what you are doing currently, highlight your accomplishments that align with the job requirements. Now once you update your resume and you have a clear story of about your pivot that you want to share with the world, it's time to update your LinkedIn profile. Ensure your LinkedIn profile reflects your new career direction. Update your headline, summary, and experience sections to highlight your pivot. Put the featured section to good use. And I am saying LinkedIn here because most professionals are on LinkedIn. But if you are in the creative field, it may be some other social media platform like an Instagram for you. But make sure whatever platform you are using, it gives a flattering picture of your journey, because if you don't do it, nobody else will. Third, showcase projects and certifications. Include any relevant projects, assignments, certification, and courses related to your new field that you have completed. This demonstrates your commitment and expertise. Again, as I mentioned previously, use the featured section of LinkedIn to highlight these. Last but not the least, in some fields it may become really important, gather recommendations or testimonials. This can be like for the recommendation section on LinkedIn, or like me, I have a client success story section in my website, so all my client testimonials go there. So request, when you are starting recommendation, request recommendations from your colleagues and mentors in the past field, as well as when you start building connections, request recommendations from your connections in your new field. And then of course when you start having clients, start putting those recommendations in. These endorsements can add a lot of credibility to your profile. For me personally, every second client who comes to me tells me that I came because I saw so much of success stories in your website on the type of work you have done with other clients, or somebody else, my existing client or a past client, has referred that client to me. So this also, the more recommendations you have, the less effort you have to spend on new business development. So this is an important area that needs focus.
Updating your resume and LinkedIn profile is crucial. When I pivoted, I made sure to highlight my skills and relevant experience. I have also got so many testimonials from my old clients and updated that also in LinkedIn. So, Smita, any final thoughts for our viewers on breaking into a new field?
Stay persistent and proactive. Breaking into a new field takes time and effort. It's certainly not an overnight journey. But with the right strategies, you can achieve your goals. Continuously seek opportunities to learn and grow. Don't be afraid to fail. Failures will be there. And don't hesitate to reach out for support, either in your own circle or reach out to experts like coaches like me who can help you in that journey.
Thank you, Smita, for these wonderful insights. In the next episode, we'll talk about building your brand and creating a powerful online presence. Thank you to our audience for joining us today. If you have any questions or thoughts, please leave them in the comments. See you next time.
Thank you, Shruti. As usual, I'm looking forward to the next episode with you. Have a great day ahead.